Today I'm going to wire up some cube lights to the hood of my Dodge Ram, as well as put some on the bed. But I got these relays on Amazon for pretty cheap, and these are 5-pole relays. You could get away with 4, but there was a good deal on these. That's why I got 5 poles, so I can still use them. So I've been using these 3-way switches. Let's see if it focus. 3-way switches for years, and I love them. It's like so many options. So not only can you just use it as a normal on-off switch, but because it's got 2 positions, or 3 really, it's on, off, and on 2, you can set it up to be great. It's great setup for lights, rather, where normally you just have lights on or off. Now if you tap into another circuit like the brights or your reverse lights or something of that nature, you can now have it toggled. On the Ram right now I've got a light bar in the bumper, and the same thing on the Tahoe, where you can have it on, off, or on with brights. And so I leave it on with brights, that way when I flop the brights, flop is a technical term, the light bar goes on as well, and that's pretty an awesome feature. There's not really any load coming through these. It's not that big of a draw, but I'm gonna do it anyway just because I have them and I'm gonna be out there. And for the lights on the back, I was gonna do on, off, and then with the cab lights or the reverse lights, the bed lights, but I'm thinking that I'm gonna do bed lights off, and if I can tap into reverse easy, I'm just going to tap into that as well, because then I can just use that switch in the cabin to toggle them on and off if I have it set that way, or I can flop it to where it's with reverse, because if I want them on, I don't mind if the bed lights are on as well too. It's not like it's going to be the end of the world to do so. So I'm going to wire that up, and basically you take one of these guys. Basically you'll have an inline fuse coming off the battery. I'm actually gonna split the power out to the relay and to the switch, and then have them come back and activate the relay. If you don't know what a relay is, it basically allows you to do a high or a higher current or a higher volume of power through it without running that same power through the switch. You can use a lower power switch. Now again, these LEDs aren't going to be doing a high draw, so it's not a big deal, but it is kind of a good safety thing to do. So basically you have a switch which activates the relay, which is like a coil. I think it's magnetic, and it flops over on and off, and then it'll switch the power on. So it's a switch to control an electronic switch for those things. So you can also set it up with these guys that have 2 different power sources, so you can have one on and another one off and toggle it that way. But and that's the red wire, but I'm just going to leave that wire off for this. Now hopefully when I roll in the little wiring diagram and do a voiceover, it'll make more sense. So what you'll need for this is an inline fuse or some other fusing system, a switch. I like these 3-way switches. A relay is super helpful. Now some of these probably already come with some of your light bar kits, especially eBay ones. They come with a bunch of stuff, but if you can do custom, you can get them all and get them pretty cheap as well, and get a whole bunch of them for the price of one harness. You're going to need your light bar or your cube or whatever you're lighting up, whatever accessory you're going to use. It could be a dash cam, whatever. You'll need your soldering iron. I actually ordered a new one, but some strange delay with Amazon. It's not going to be here till Saturday, so I'm going to use this old guy. Electrical tape, or some sort of heat shrink to go over the wires. You're going to use heat shrink, you need like a lighter or a heat gun. It's good to have a little voltmeter and probes to be able to see if something's going wrong, test your power, and you also need a proper fuse. Now make sure you consult your vehicle's wiring diagrams, manuals, all that stuff. Follow safety precautions, don't get electrocuted, don't burn yourself, these things get hot. But honestly, it's really not that difficult if you're a little bit handy, and it can be fun too. So between all the days of filming and doing this on different times, I lost the footage. So basically there's a hole in the top of the bed underneath this lining. I just drilled a hole through the lining and then bolted this mount underneath, the mount that came with the lights underneath. So this was a juggling act, as you can see. I've got this ratchet with the extension, and I lined it up with the hole, with the washer and nut inside, and then once it was lined up with the hole and pushed up high, I pushed the light in, and then I just spun the light to get it tight. You can see this sort of circle wear out here, so it's nice and tight, but I'm still able to adjust them, and then they hold position. So the first thing you want to do is disconnect the negative on your battery. I'm going to wire these 2 pod lights together in series, And I'm going to search for a ground somewhere else because everything is probably painted here. Although I might be able to run something down there. I'm just going to wire them up. We'll find a ground somewhere further up. I'm going to strip these wires back a little bit more to give a little bit more to connect with. Got the wires stripped and wound together and some heat shrink tube ready. Now just time to solder it together. So this side is all soldered up and heat shrunk. And now I'm going to do the other side. So I've got the wires tidied up a little bit with a little bit of electrical tape every so often. I think what I'm going to do is I got some double-sided sticky wire clips, and I'm going to try and clip the wire up under this lip. So there's probably a better method for splicing 3 wires together. But I've got this pretty good in here. I spliced these 2 and then I wound that one around and soldered it. And then I just put 2 heat shrink wraps on there. I did the same over here. And now I'm just going to wrap electrical tape around it like this. Wires were a little tangled, so I got them laid out pretty flat there. I thought about trying to sneak into the cabin through the vent, but I think I'm just going to try and keep it simple and run down the frame rail. I've got the wire coming down. I zip tied it to the frame in the back, and then all along the bottom of the cab there's some plastic tabs coming through that I zip tied it through, kept it above the body mount, and then to the front. And I don't think I'll need to do anything else to secure it. It's out of the way of debris and other things. And then I pulled back the panel in here and I just zip tied it to the outside of this wiring harness and into the engine compartment. And then I've just got it coming up here right now. Now I'm going to work on the relay and getting hooked up to power. And under here, I just crimped a connector on the end of the power lead and hooked it up to the post on the positive terminal. And then it's run to an inline fuse with the relay. And then they're all kind of snugged up and zip tied in there relatively neatly. As you can see, I've got some other harnesses already run through, but you can just stuff a wire through the side of this grommet and you'll be fine. So you can see up there, but I've got the wire coming through where the grommet is. I'm just going to pull this and we can trim this short. So I've got everything zipped up and zip tied here. You can see I don't really mount. As you can see, I'm not really mounting the relays anywhere. You can certainly do that and make it look nicer, but basically I just want to keep everything all here together and out of the way, and I think that's nice enough for this truck. It's not a show truck. So I've got all my relays in one spot for all the lights. I've got all the fuses. I got to get another paint pen so I can mark this one for the bed lights. But I got everything zip tied together. Try and keep it all clean, keep the wires routing together where they can, and just keep it clean and out of the way so it's not a total mess, and I think that looks great. Hopefully you can hear me over the engine, but my other camera died. So I had this wired up backwards. The blue and yellow were swapped, so I just pulled them out and swapped their position. Got positive up to a fuse into the relay. I've got a ground from both the relay and from the rear lights wired into this grounding point in the engine bay. I've got the secondary, because I'm using that 5-prong relay, I've got the secondary one just capped off. Don't need to alternate between 2 things. And then got the power running through to the lights in the back. Now this is the power. This is actually the switch power. And then I was just testing it just by touching it to the positive terminal. As you can see, this module is just one big harness connector in there, and I'm not going to mess with that. Just held in by 2 screws. Super crusty. Let's see. So we just need a low voltage signal to go from here, which is piggybacking off the switch in the car, to run back up to the 3-way switch for these pod lights. And I'm still wiring this up, so I don't want to cut that short. So I'm going to grab one of these wires off this old head unit harness to run it into the cab to act as our signal. We've also got a T-tap here that I can just tap right into it. So the way this works is you just slip it over the wire you want to tap into. And I found sometimes it helps if you sometimes it helps if you take back the shroud a little bit and then you just run the other wire into the other end. And then this little guy makes the connection. It's probably a little shorter than I'd like it to be. But since I'm not going to be able to finish wiring up the truck today, I just want to get it inside, and then I can always extend it from inside the cab. So I'm going to take a little bit off the end here. It's probably enough, but probably enough. I always like to go a little bit more though. Hopefully not mess this up. Just going to try and gently, not all the way cut it, just try and peel back some of that shielding. I think we got a little bit of it. So you could just wire up to that, but I'm going to use this T-tap to get in there. So I'm going to get this side in here kind of lined up, and then stuff this in the other end. It's actually going to go on this end. If you can hear that wind starting to come in. So I'm going to get this guy in here, try and line up that cut with the metal bar. And then I get this guy in here. If we push, that'll clamp it a little bit. And now if I take this, I can push it all the way closed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this on and then get the voltmeter and see if I got anything coming out of this end. Yeah, that weather's changing quick out here. Alright, I'm going to worry about this next time because this weather's changing for the worse. So silly me thought the brown was the power. I should have just tested the leads here and found out. But I did that, and black's the power. And I've got it tapped in with this little T-tap and run it into the cab, and now I'm just going to run that wire up to the front. But there's just a little hole here to get into the cab. I think that's the back of the headliner up there. So we'll get inside in the back seat and see how it goes. In order to reach back there, I just pulled this light out so I can get a little leverage. Took up the coat hanger clip, and then just use this panel popper to help pry it down. Now I've got the wire, and I'm going to run it behind the headliner, run it down the back of this pillar, and then underneath the trim. And this is not going to be long enough, so at some point we'll have to splice it. This car needs a detail bad. The easiest and best route seemed to be to pull off the door mold trim, and then pull the headliner down and pull this out, and then get it up over the headliner, and then down in this channel back here, being careful to watch out for the seatbelt, and then just getting it behind these plastic tabs. Now that I've got it to this point, I'm gonna solder on some more wire. So as you can see, I've got switches here already for the light bar and the cubes, and there's no room, even though there's room up here, there's no room over here. I didn't have a dremel wheel, so I just took this drywall saw, started hacking underneath, and it's fine without that support there. So I think I'm going to cut it all out and make room for the other switch. So it looks super ugly under here. You can certainly do a better job than this, but I should have enough clearance. These step bits are awesome. If you don't have any of these, pick these up. I think I've had this set for quite a long time. Super helpful. I'm slowly just going to try and drill a hole in the center. Got the switch in. It's a little tight here, but that's okay. I'm going to have up be it on with the dome light switch, or the cargo bed light switch. I'm going to have up be on with the cargo light switch. And then when I wire up the reverse lights, that'll be reversed and middle is off. So it sort of matches everything else going on. down for these other guys is on with bright, so this will be on with reverse, and then it'll be on with the cargo light. So I'm going to be proactive and wire up these 3 connectors, but the top one's going to be for the cargo, the middle one's going to go out to the relay in the engine compartment, and then this bottom one's going to be for the reverse light. Now I can get the last lead wire all crimped up and get everything hooked up. I'm going to try it out before I put it back together. The switch is reversed from the poles, but basically the yellow one will be in the middle always, and then I just have to figure out which side this guy goes on. So I was right, the poles are flopped compared to the switch, so whichever one you want to be at the top, you put on the bottom. Whatever one you want to be on the bottom, you put on the top. So reverse is on the top pole, and the signal from the cab, I keep calling it cab light. The signal from the bed light is on the bottom. So it's not on now. This is all the way off. This is on with the cab. Middle's all the way off. Up is on with the bed lights, and bottom will be on with reversed. But obviously it's not on because we have to press this switch. There we go. After I get the cab back together, I can aim them. While I've got this open, I'm just getting these wires kind of situated. Zip ties are one of the greatest inventions. Alright, everything's back together. Switches are in the right spots. Good to go. So if this video helped you, please like, favorite, subscribe, all that good stuff. I got more stuff on the homestead coming soon, and I'll see you in the next one. So may God bless you, and keep standing up for what's right.